Hey everybody, this is Ashley with Publish with Ashley, and I wanted to show you something really cool. I talked about it in my YouTube channel today about doing this better tutorial with Bookbolt and the PDF combiner. So a lot of people have asked, I have PDFs, I have PNG files, I have these things, how do I combine them? What I need? So what you need to get an interior into KDP is you need it to be a PDF. You don't have to convert it from anything other than a PDF. It just needs to be the right size for the book that you're using. So in this case, I'm going to show you an 8.5 by 11. So that's, normal paper size, US normal paper size. And that's a typical kids coloring book size. And so that's what I'm going to kind of show you today. And so the interior would actually be 8.5 by 11 because I'm going to do no bleed, and I will show you that and talk about that. But right under here, under bookbolt.io, you click the resources, and you can see that there's Interior Wizard, and this has lots of free interiors that you can mix and match and use. But actually, you can create a book with this PDF combiner. So it's free to use. I am not logged in. I do have a subscription to Bookbolt. I love Bookbolt. It's great to use for a lot of different things, especially research. Coupon Ashley20 if you want 20% off. And here is the interior combiner. I want to show you this because I think this is so super cool. But this should be free. Like I said, I'm not logged in right now. And all right, so they have all these interiors that you can use, but let's set this up to be the right size first, just so we don't forget. 8.5 by 11, no bleed. Okay, bleed versus no bleed. Bleed means that it's going to go all the way to the edges, and you don't mind if it gets cut off. For what I'm showing you, I'm doing no bleed because it's a kid's coloring book. It's like a central main character, and so nothing's going to go to the edge. There's no pattern. There's nothing that's going to bleed onto the edges. So bleed is kind of a funny thing. So KDP, if you check bleed, then it expects every page is going to have something that bleeds to the edge. So I've had a lot of kickback. Let's say I have a few pages that bleed to the edge, but not all of my pages. And so I check bleed because on some pages it is going to bleed, and on the other pages I don't care because it's just going to be white, so that's fine. But it screws up KDP's reviewer a lot of times. The auto thing will kick it back once you submit. It'll say, oh, you need to fix the sizes. So when that happens, there's a few ways you can go about it. You can keep submitting until it just works, but sometimes it just doesn't. It's not an error. It's not anything you've done wrong. Bleed is a weird thing. So if you're going to bleed to all the pages, no problem. It'll go through. But if you do some pages with something that goes to the edge and some pages that don't, it has some trauma. Usually what I do in that case, if I just can't get it to work, I will squish everything so that it's not supposed to bleed, and I'll put the white space around it and just submit it with no bleed. But just know that if you're going to use bleed, there could be some drama. But if you use no bleed, you definitely have to have the margin, the white space around it, because they don't want anything in those margins. Now, you need your interior to be a PDF, right? So we're going to upload some stuff. So I have here some cute coloring pages. This right here is a PDF, and it has 10 coloring pages, kind of like this in there. And these are PNGs. I know it says PDF, but it just got named weird things. I don't know why. If you hold over it, you can see it should come up and show me that it is a PNG file. Maybe. There we go. Is it going to do it? Here we go. Is this one? Oh, there we go. PNG file. So see, this is a PNG file. But the cool thing about this uploader is it'll take both. So watch what I'm going to do. I'm going to click that one. I'm going to click Shift and select all of those, and then I'm just going to drop them on here. And it'll take a minute as it goes through and adds them. It'll add check marks once it's done. So these are PNG files, and you can see that they're individual graphics, whereas this one right here is a PDF with a bunch of stuff in it. Now this is what's cool. I'm going to go back to the interior here. Now, Look at all these ones I uploaded. Aren't they cute? Okay, so the robots, remember, the robots were the PNG files. These little kitty cats and stuff were those 10 PDF files that I uploaded that was one PDF, okay? And the robots are the PNG files. So it uploaded all of those as an individual asset that I can drop on. So for the first page, I'm going to have that be like my title page. So I'm going to go down here and select like this sketchbook. And this would be the first page. And then these two right here are your left and right pages. And so this, if you opened up the book, it would look like this. And so I'm just going to add some stuff. Okay, I'm going to add that guy. And I can add them in any order I want. And let's say I wanted to, I guess I have two. This guy's cute. Say I wanted to delete him, I can just change him for something else. Like here's this little guy, he's cute. And let's say I wanted a blank page. So I want this to not, kids and coloring books, right? If it's markers, it might bleed through the page. This is a young kids coloring book, so I have kids. I would not leave my kids with a coloring book and markers. If they're, this age, I would give them crayons. And so maybe you don't need to have a blank back, but if you know it's kind of a little bit older or definitely an adult, you want a blank back so that if there was any bleed through, it wouldn't ruin the other pages. So what you could do, these are all the free interiors that you can use. We just clicked on one of those. You can add, back down here, a blank page, right? So it's just going to have these light lines to have a blank page. And then you add your, whatever. I guess I have him again. Let's go down here, add something different. The dog. Alright, and then my last page is going to be, I don't know, the toast and jam. Alright, so you can do that, and what you're going to do now is all you're going to do is hit download. And it's going to go into my download file. It's going to take a second, and once it finishes, I'm going to open it up and show you. Right here. So it said my pop-up. You've got to allow it. Always allow. Okay, so I'm going to allow this. And then I'm going to try and download it again. So I had that problem a few times. I've just got to let it always allow. Now it's thinking. It's going to download. And there it is. Alright, so I'm going to look at the page view of this. Zoom to the page level. This is just Adobe Acrobat. It's opening in. And see, I've got my little coloring pages. Now, this is a PDF file. I could upload this. It doesn't have enough pages actually to upload on KDP because there's a minimum of 24 pages. But if it had more than 24 pages, I could upload this onto KDP like this. But I would probably want to maybe, add, my coloring book name here or something else. You can create that and then do just what I did. You can download that as a PDF or a PNG and then drop it in, and then it would be this page. But if you wanted to add to these, you would probably need to use something other than this particular program, Book.io, because let's say I wanted this guy and I wanted to write color the robot all red or something. Or I wanted to say, I love ice cream. Do you love ice cream too? Or whatever you wanted to add, pictures or words or that sort of thing. PNG is hard, PDFs, you really can't do that unless you have a PDF writer. And I've looked at that at Adobe and it's kind of expensive. So you could make these, say whatever you want before you upload them to this, or you would want to use something else like Google Slides or PowerPoint, and you would want to have those as PNG or JPEG files so that you could dump them into the slides or whatever to have the right interior. Hopefully I'm not confusing you, but if you're just going to take some pages and put them together, some PDF pages, some PNG pages, and you're just going to put them together just like this is going to work perfectly well. This will work great. So there you are. That is how to use this. I hope that this was helpful for you. and I'm going to do more tips and tricks. I got a whole bunch that people gave me on my website, so make sure you check out my website at publishwithashley.podia.com. Podia, Podia.com. It'll be on the YouTube channel link. And then make sure to join my Facebook group and all that so that you can get more tips and tricks. And I'll see you next time. Thanks so much. Bye.